that if you have a child in your life, that child is looking to you to see who he or she should be. So take your time and do it right. Just take your time and do it right to the best of your ability, because they're watching you and they will emulate your behavior. Behavior is learned.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Childcare channel, a space designed to inform, inspire, and innovate in the childcare space. My name is Jane Diaz and I am your host. Today we have a very exciting guest on our show. She is someone I personally admire greatly because of her unstoppable spirit of growth and contribution. Someone who can be considered a multi-passionate, high-quality human being who has amassed an eclectic set of skills and careers, including acting, writing and directing for film and TV, obtaining a Doctor of Clinical Psychology, a certification as a heart math facilitator, and achieving the honor of being a court-appointed anger management specialist. But that's not all. One of the most remarkable things about this woman is her commitment to social impact and community development. As a former community program leader for one of the largest global transformational organizations, she has supervised the development and restoration of over 300 underserved and underprivileged communities, which have also included providing emotional rehabilitation for incarcerated females convicted of domestic abuse in the Los Angeles County area. I am talking about none other than Dr. Troy Byer. She is the founder and CEO of Mindology Fitness, a fun, effective, and affordable neuro-science-based program that provides participants with organic, emotional, and psychological tools to ensure their peace of mind is in their hands at all times. Currently, Mindology Fitness classes are practiced in over 200 prisons across the country and in several early education schools across the globe. We at the Childcare channel are thrilled to have this conversation with Dr. Troy today, and we hope that through her incredible story, you will feel inspired and motivated after listening to our conversation. Dr. Troy, it's such an honor to have you here. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, and it is such an honor to be with you, and thank you for that lovely introduction.
Well, you deserve that and so much more. Everybody listening to us, we have actually ran into each other in the most random places. We ran into each other once in Sedona very randomly, and it was such an amazing, magical experience. We had to be here.
Yeah, it was wonderful seeing you, because I'd see you really on screen more than I'd see you in person, right? So to see you in 3D was like, whoa.
It was remarkable. I love it. I'm so glad that you're here, because one of the greatest things that caught my attention about you when you first came into my awareness is the fact that you are committed to this mission of spreading peace of mind, right? And it's a big foundation of what you do. And we're going to talk more into detail about that. But peace of mind for us here at the Childcare channel and for our sponsor, One Core Solution, that is what we are about. Even if it's technology, even if it's a channel, it's really about bringing forth some type of positive environment into the world, whether we're talking childcare like we do here or just about anywhere else, such as the work that you do. So tell us a little bit about that specifically, and we'll get into your story because I have some questions for you. It's pretty remarkable. But let's start with, why peace of mind? How did you get into this? How did you even think about the concept of mindology?
Well, when I was a little girl, I was very disturbed emotionally. I had a lot of issues at home, and I lived in foster care, and I spent a lot of my time crying. And I remember saying to myself, one day I'm going to learn how to stop crying, just because I wanted to. Like, I wanted to teach myself how to manage these unwanted emotions, specifically sadness that later actually became anger. So that was a childhood dream. Like, who are you going to be when you grow up? I'm going to be the superhero of emotions, controlling emotions. And that's actually what I do. I help people regulate their unwanted emotions. But how it started actually was me wanting to regulate my own unwanted emotions as a child. People used to call me crybaby all the time. Crybaby.
Oh.
I'd cry when I was happy. I'd cry when I was sad. But then once I started, I couldn't stop. So yeah, that's how it started.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, what I would imagine is you're a very empathetic person. I mean, I
Yes.
think you're very empathetic. Just even not knowing you very well, I can sense it, I can feel it. And usually that tends to happen, right? With children who are empathetic, they feel everything perhaps more than other children.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
I
That.
love that.
Yeah. With my own stuff that I was going through, it was just a lot. I was taking on the world. It's like it's a lot.
Right, right. And it's so amazing. I don't know. I don't know if you are a believer of the fact that we have souls and that our souls are meant to grow and develop here in certain ways. And
Yes.
so I think that it's remarkable to hear your story and other people's stories of how they came about into aligning with their purpose, with that which makes them feel alive as they work on. So would you say that these experiences for you have been just part of that journey of getting you closer and closer to yourself?
Oh yeah, I think so. Absolutely, it's your soul's journey. It's my soul's journey. I always say, find your within your pain, you'll find your purpose. You just have to move through
Mm.
the pain. You have to have the courage. And so that's basically what happened. My soul was in pain, and I followed that pain to my purpose.
I love that. I love that. And you bring so much joy and so much peace and so much positivity into the world that it's just remarkable that you were able to transform all of those experiences into something amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I had a choice. In retrospect, I was like, oh yeah, no, I didn't have a choice. I'm really a very God-centered person, and for me, God is love and happiness and peace and joy. And if you're not experiencing that, then you're not in spirit, right? So
Hmm.
it's all about me to be inspired about life itself. Just to be inspired, you got to be in spirit. So I had to get right with my spirit, get right with God, and just right, get to the bottom of why these emotions actually hijack us. And it's all neuroscience, really. It's neuroscience.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you something because obviously you have extensive experience of this and working with people of all ages, right? Now, here at the Childcare channel, I'm particularly interested, right? Because we have parents watching us, we have childcare providers watching, and just about anybody else who comes across this content. I'm wondering if you can share with us some things that you have noticed as far as the management of these emotions, particularly when it comes to children, and maybe what parents can do to help them along the way.
Right. So with children and their emotions and children, it's a very big part of being human is to have emotions, right? If you don't have emotions, I don't know what you are. Even animals, like little puppies, have emotions. So what we want to do with our children, though, is we want to teach them at a very early age how to organically regulate their emotions. What happens is when a child reaches a certain age and the emotions are not able to be organically regulated, I don't even know that people take time to learn how to organically regulate a child's emotions. Well, they take them right to Ritalin, or some other behavior modifier. But my point is, we don't have to take a pill to heal. Sometimes we will have to, but if we can have options and we can avoid that, then why not do so? So what my work is all about is teaching our beautiful children how to have what I call emotional sovereignty, so that they
Mm.
can actually, they can go in the bathroom and squeeze their finger if they're feeling angry or frustrated, or they're experiencing any anxiety. But they know how to take care of themselves. They can self-soothe. It takes no more than 2 minutes with the programs that I've designed and the methodologies that I've actually been working on for many, many years. I just think it's so sweet when I get letters from teachers like, our kids, they go to their cubby and they squeeze their finger and then they come back different children. I'm like, isn't that so cool? Like they go and
That
they have their little private space to self-soothe and then they come back and join the community. That's perfect.
that is so amazing. I mean, what you've been able to do there and to make it so simple for whoever, whether it's parents or teachers or whichever, to adopt it and use it, and the children just, I mean, that I cannot even imagine how rewarding that must feel. So
Yeah, and the teachers do it too. The teachers, they're in the corner squeezing the finger or cradling their head. It's really beautiful.
So let me ask you, because, we're technically still in the middle of a pandemic, right? And the pandemic has been a big source of stress for many people, but especially in the childcare industry. We've seen a lot of centers close at some point, or we've seen centers having to reduce their hours, their staff, make all sorts of different changes, right? What are some of your observations working with them? What has worked? What hasn't worked? What have you seen with regards to managing these times, managing stressful situations and the stressors that are around?
So what has worked in terms of what I've been able to offer them?
Yeah, well, how have you been able to, or rather, what have you seen work in their middle of the stressors that you're dealing with? What have you seen that has worked really well?
I have to tell you that we are 100% remote as a result of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to answer that question because I haven't been in the classroom with the teachers, so I don't know. But I can only tell you that business has gotten, it's almost tripled since the pandemic.
Wow.
Right. Why? Because there's so much stress, there's so much anxiety, there's so much uncertainty, there's so much anger, there's so many emotions that are running rapid, and people need solutions. Children need to understand what's going on, and they need ways to self-soothe. So in that way, that's been a difference for us. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually great because, I don't know if you remember in the shift conference that we just went to, which was fantastic. One of the speakers, she said, right? She said, let's not get a good pandemic go to waste, right? And so what you just said is actually what I look at as a positive byproduct of, we've had all of these stressors, and you said business tripled, which means that more people are looking for solutions and for ways to incorporate more of these techniques into their day-to-day.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because the stressors, the threats, or the challenges have been magnified because of the pandemic, right? So I'm really happy to be able to provide a solution during such a problematic time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So how does the process normally work? If I am a childcare center, right, and I have nothing like this available, and I want to bring some of this into the center, how does that normally work?
Well, you contact us. You can go to the website. We have mindologyfitnesskids.com. It says become a trainer or bring us to you. And all of our programs are remote. So even if you wanted to become a Mindology Fitness trainer for your school, you can do the program online. It's a 4-hour training program, and you do it at your leisure. It's an automated training program. Then once you complete the modules, then you'll kind of audition, right? You'll do the class online for us, me or one of my supervisors, and then we'll say yay or nay. And if it's a nay, we'll work with you until it's a yay. But it's very simple. It's very, you just sign on, do the modules, and there we go. You have to pay.
Okay, so in essence, what is it?
You have to pay also. Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, naturally, right? We all have our talents that we live off of, right? What I love though is that this sounds to me like a social enterprise, right? It is a business, but it's a business that brings about some positive change, some positive habits into the world, which is to me ideal. So let's see if I understood correctly, because this is almost too easy for me. So basically, you're saying that if I'm a center and I go to your website, get your program, my own staff is the one that gets trained on how to do this. So basically, we're fully independent. My own staff gets trained. You qualify them once they do to make sure yay or nay, right? And then it's just really up to me. Let's say I'm the center owner or director. It's just really up to me to make sure that they're, applying these things on the daily.
Right. And the way that the program is designed, you can do the whole program with the children, which is a 25-minute program, or you could do bits and pieces. So I have one school we have this one exercise where it's activating where you activate both sides of the brain while you're walking.
Uh-huh.
That's a little tongue twister. We have this one exercise. Get to activate both sides of your brain, and you can do it while you're walking, but it's a marching formation, and the kids do it whenever they go to the bathroom or if they go to their laundry. So they incorporate different exercises throughout their entire day. So right before nap time, they do the calming cross, which is this posture. You cross your ankles. Yes, like you're going to do it cross here.
Okay, cross.
And then bring it in. There you go. Now cross your ankles.
Okay.
Now when you do this, what this does is it reboots your brain. It actually reboots it and it shuts all of your programs, if you will. Okay.
My brain has been rebooted. I love it. I do feel a change. I do feel a change physically. Yes, there's a physical change happening.
It's all neuroscience, and it happens really fast. So that's one of the postures that the children will do right before nap time. And I get emails. They're like, "Oh my gosh, our kids fall asleep instantly now," and they're like so excited. I'm like, awesome, it's great. And then if you have like babies, like a 6-month-old baby, they can't do this on their own, obviously. But you can take their sweet little hands, cross them, because you want to cross the midsection of the body. That's the most important thing. And then you can cross their feet at the ankle.
Oh,
it has the same impact.
I love it. So you adapt it to the ages, to the different ages.
Yes, absolutely. And in the training, you learn how to work with different kids of different ages. So, there's some centers, of course, as you know, they have babies as early as 5 to 6 months old, and they go up to 4 years. So this different, it's posture appropriate. It's age appropriate postures. I don't know why I can't talk today. It's age appropriate postures that we have available.
I love it. Okay. Well, this is really wonderful. I want to know a little bit more about, now getting more on the personal side, your trajectory, because I think it's so inspirational. The fact that you had a really unusual type of childhood. We're talking about children, we're talking about, self-regulation and all of this. You actually started working as a 4-year-old. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I was one of the original cast members on Sesame Street. I think that's why I have a passion for early education and development, because I grew up on an educational program, Sesame Street. So the Sesame Street made learning fun. So that's kind of in the fabric of my existence is to make learning fun, and I want to make learning mind care fun. I was an original member on Sesame Street. I stayed on the show for 6 years, for quite a while. It was a wonderful experience.
That's amazing. How did that even happen? So you were 4, obviously you didn't make that decision, right? So how did you end up there?
So my mom was on welfare and we were on food stamps, and we were living in Hell's Kitchen. We live in New York, which is a lovely place right now. Those apartments, the same apartment goes for like $4,000 a month. It was like $40 a month when we were there.
Wow.
I know, right? So our next door neighbor was a guy named Alvin Ailey. Alvin Ailey is a very famous African-American dancer. But at the time, he wasn't famous. He was a struggling dancer. So he always had his finger on the pulse of what was happening in New York City in terms of production. And Sesame Street, they were looking for dancers. So he said to my mom, "I just auditioned for this show of Sesame Street to be a dancer, but I know they're looking for kids. You should take your kids and see if you can get them on Sesame Street and get off welfare." And my mom was like, "What a great idea." So she took my brother and I. My brother immediately was booked. I was terrified of Big Bird, so I didn't get booked right away. I was terrified of Big Bird, and so I had to deal with my fears around Big Bird before they hired me. But in a matter of 2 weeks, I was like, "Okay, I'm not afraid anymore."
Wow, that is amazing. Wait, so it was you and your brother on the show?
Yeah, well, and like 7 other kids.
Okay, but you actually got to do it together with your brother.
Well, yeah, my brother was cast first, and then I would go on the set and just watch him. And Big Bird looked like a nice bird after all. So When I met Big Bird, the guy that was playing Big Bird did not know there was a kid on the set waiting to audition. So he walks out of the dressing room. He's wearing his Big Bird body, and he's got his human head sticking out of the Big Bird body.
Oh my God.
And then he's carrying Big Bird's head in his hand like this, like a football. You know? So all I know is, why does Bird have a man's head? I'm 4 years old. And then I see Big Bird's eyes bouncing around like the little, like, it just, none of it made sense to me. So that's why I was afraid. But once I saw him put the head on and I realized, oh, it's all make-believe, I was cool.
Wow, that is so funny. That is true. A 4-year-old sees Big Bird decapitated. What are you?
I just said, why does Bird have a man's head? Man.
Wow, it's I think it's remarkable. You didn't make the choice to go and be on TV, right? It was made for you.
Yeah.
But even though it was made for you, right? I guess call it higher intelligence, divine providence. It was a big contributor to what, fast forward, you ended up doing today, correct?
Absolutely. So what I believe is that the first part of our life, we collect data and information for what we're going to do in the second part of our life. I was collecting data, and I was acquiring the information and the knowledge necessary to put me on my path. No mistakes, ever. No coincidences,
I've been there with you. I believe there's absolutely no mistakes and no coincidences too, and that everything connects, and we are where we are. There's a trajectory of things that got us there and choices. Now, this is an interesting topic for me because I don't know if I'm sure this has happened to many people who are listening to this. As a child, I was told, oh, she's going to be a lawyer. Oh, she talks like one. And I'm 4 or 5, right? I don't know anything. Children can be easily influenced. And we are at the Childcare Channel, and we are constantly, at least the parents, the providers, the teachers, or you yourself, with all that you offer, you're constantly interacting with children. What would you say, or how do you feel about, telling a child, oh, you're going to be this, or oh, what are you going to be when you grow up? What do you feel about those exchanges with the children themselves?
Well, that's a subjective projection. You're projecting your will onto the child, and I'm very much against that. What I ask a child is, what is the gift your heart is going to give to the world? What are you here to give to the world? What's your gift? I said, my gift is peace. I'm here to gift peace. And some kids will go, I'm going to gift laughter. I'm going to gift love. So, I think that's a much more constructive perspective to take, when you're working with a child. What's your gift to the world? We all have a gift.
I love that. I love that. Okay, parents, if you're listening, teachers, anybody who this could be applicable to, this is really gold right here. I'm just going to repeat it. The question that Dr. Troy just shared with us to ask kids, instead of saying, oh, you'll be a lawyer, you'll be such a good engineer, or what are you going to do when you grow up? Maybe a better question is, what is your gift that you're going to give to the world? Yes?
Yeah.
And it's interesting. You think that children won't know how to answer that, but they do. They do know.
Yeah. Well, what helps is if I say my gift is peace. And then sometimes they're like, I don't know. And then I'll say, well, then what would you like the world to gift you? Right? And they'll say, I want happiness. And I said, well, then you should give happiness. You have to give the most what you want the most.
Absolutely. Another question that I really like to ask, I have a nephew. He just turned 8. And the other day I asked him, I said, his name is Matthew. I said, Matthew, if you could change anything about the world today, what would it be? And, for some people, that's a hard question.
Right.
And he just said, I would diminish or lower littering. He doesn't like littering. He's like, we were at the beach when I asked him this question. So it's, I would stop people from, getting earth dirty, And Right? And so children know it. It's that we kind of know since an early age what we innately like. So that's really wonderful that you said that question. Um, I know that you have had a long trajectory, right, to get to where you are today. I know that recently you have completed a PhD that you started when you were around 42, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So yeah, so I went back to college. At 42, I decided I wanted to leave the entertainment industry. After directing movies and acting, I had maybe a semester of college under my belt, but I decided I wanted to go and get a doctorate in clinical psychology at 42. I knew it was going to be a long journey, 15 years. But
Wow.
I had to finish my undergrad, then I had to finish my master's, and then I had to finish my doctorate. But it was a beautiful journey, and I created Mindology Fitness while I was in graduate school, so it's been great. But yes, it's fun.
I think it's remarkable. I think it's amazing. You have had so many careers already that most people in their lifetimes don't, right? You know, and so to me, it's remarkable that you've had the strength, the certainty to say, that's it, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it. I don't care, because a lot of us, we have limiting beliefs. We have excuses that we say, oh, I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that, and I can't, my time has passed to do this thing that I really want to do.
Right.
I'm curious to know, what was that moment that you decided, I'm going to completely shift gears here? What happened?
My 42nd birthday, and I was in my kitchen and just thought, wow, I don't want to hustle again another year trying to get like a gig, a directing gig, and just being in the entertainment industry and waiting for the agent to call and are you going to get the gig, not get the gig? And I realized I never made a choice to be in the entertainment industry. My mother made that decision for me. And I just grew up thinking that's what I was supposed to do because that's what I was doing. And I asked myself, I said, if I could do anything in the world, what would I want to do? And I said, I want to teach people how to stop hurting. That's really what happened. I said, I want to teach people how to stop hurting. And I thought, well, in order to really understand human beings, how we're designed, and everything about emotion and behavior that I can possibly learn, I have to go and get a doctorate. I don't want to just be here. I want to be here.
Yeah.
So I made a decision. That was it. I registered the next day for school, and I never looked back.
And this is what I mean. This is remarkable. And I want to just pause here if you're listening to this right now, it's one decision that, in this case, Dr. Troy made with full certainty. She got clarity and she said, this is what I want, which, by the way, I would like to point out, Dr. Troy, your 4, 5, 6-year-old self already knew this because you liked to connect, to teach yourself to control your emotions. Right. You said that at the beginning, right?
Connected, yes, right.
So it's all connected and it's all coming back full circle. So tell me, what is your vision? Now we are where we are, right? Multiple types of career paths and now PhD later and going. Where do you see yourself and your impact? What are we continuing to work towards right now?
So here's what I'm doing, and thank you. That's a great question. You have lots of great questions, by the way.
Thank you.
I know someone said you should be an attorney, but I think you're on your path right now. I have to say.
I can tell you that I am. Thank you so much for acknowledging that. Thank you.
Exactly. So here's what's going on. I am creating what's called Mindology Centers. And it's like Planet Fitness is for the body, Mindology Fitness Centers would be for the mind. So when you walk in, it's like going to a gym for your body. There's different classes you can take. There's the fitness program you can take. You can do talk therapy. We're going to do for the mind what gyms do for the body. So it's a mental gym. It's a gym for the mind. If a mother wants to do a Mindology Fitness class at 3, she can go do her class, and then there'll be a class for the children at the same time, so that the mom can have her time, the kids can have their time, and then they can leave together.
I love that. So we're talking physical locations, right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So we have already the virtual aspect of this, right?
Yeah.
The expansion of it is going to be physical locations. Is it on the works already? Is there a physical location right now?
I'm actually looking for investors right now.
Oh my goodness, that is going to be so amazing. Sign me up. I'm in Florida.
So, and it's also in addition to the Mindology Fitness class, which is like an aerobics class for the mind, you might want to go and see a mindologist, which would be doctors who are psychologists available for talk therapy. And that process would be $1 a minute. So it's affordable therapy. If you just want to see a therapist for 15 minutes, there you go, $15.
I love it. I love it. Do we have a projection as to when this is going to start materializing within the next 5, 10? What's the projection?
A year from now, I am projecting that we'll have at least 2 centers up somewhere in the world.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm there cheering for you. Everybody, if you want to follow this journey, go to mindologyfitness.com. Where else can people find you, Dr. Troy, to learn about, when these will be available, or if they want to talk to you right now?
Please follow me on Instagram, Mindology Fitness on Instagram, or you can go to our Facebook page, but Instagram is the account that I'm most active on. Mindology Fitness Instagram.
Amazing. So we have here in the show at the Childcare channel something we like to call 3 in a Beat, which is a set of 3 very short questions that you answer in 1 word or at the most 1 sentence. Are you ready to play the game?
Let's go, girl.
All right. So here we go. First question. What was the last thing that took your breath away?
A guy that I just met.
All right. Wonderful. So next question. What is something worth giving up?
Being right.
I love it. Okay. I love it. And then the third question for 3 in a Beat. Okay, this one's a little bit deeper. So the scenario is you are in your final moments of life and are about to utter your very last words. What are they?
Thank you, God, for the opportunity to be on this beautiful planet, and I'm ready to go home. Let's go.
Oh, I love it. That is amazing. Thank you so much for answering those questions so well.
But I have to say, if my kids are there, I will say I love you to them, and then I'll talk to God. Although you said my last. These are great questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Troy, it's been such a pleasure. Is there anything that you'd like to share with the audience before we close for today?
Yes, I would like to share that if you have a child in your life, that child is looking to you to see who he or she should be. So take your time and do it right. Just take your time and do it right to the best of your ability, because they're watching you and they will emulate your behavior. Behavior is learned. So just take your time, breathe. Yeah.
I love it. This is such amazing advice. Thank you so much. You have been amazing in this interview, and I'm going to continue to follow your progress. I am #1 fan there, rooting for you, because our missions are definitely very aligned. So anything that I can do and we can do at the Childcare channel, even One Core Solution, our sponsor, we're happy to support you on the journey.
Thank you so much. It's so great knowing you. I really enjoy our time together. So thank you.
Likewise. And you watching here, follow Dr. Troy Byer, Mindology Fitness. If you have any questions for her, you know where to find her. You can comment here. Make sure you like and subscribe the Childcare channel for more amazing individuals like Dr. Troy. Dr. Troy, thank you again. Have an amazing rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.